Mr. Will Fox.
Good morning, Brent Lovall. How's the world treating you?
Every day is a blessing. And you?
Every day, every day is a blessing. That's right. What's
Well,
happening, my friend?
I'm going to introduce everybody to you, to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Will Fox. This gentleman has put thousands and thousands of dreams in driveways. And you look very sharp. I like your hat, like the outfit.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Gotta look good. Hey, your beard looking good too. Point on.
Absolutely. That's what I try to do. So you tell me, what is the good, how is the world treating you in the car business?
Been a blessing. Uh, I've had a lot of success. Um, Last year's a little rough, but car business, that's the way it is. But it's been good.
Okay.
Done done a lot of good things over the past few years with it.
Well, good.
Been satisfied.
Well, good. So, how did you get in sales? What was your childhood like? Where did you grow up? Will Fox is from Kentucky. What city are you from? Because I always like how you pronounced it way more than me.
It's a place called Drip Rock, Kentucky. If you say it real fast, it's Drip Rock. And everybody asks me, well, what's that? So it's DRIPROCK. And it's placed in between Estill County and Jackson County. So I had the pleasure of growing up on a little place called Lynchtown Road.
Okay.
And if you when I tell you that I was born and raised at the head of a holler, it was the head of a holler.
Okay.
We grew up in a 3-bedroom trailer. I mean, it was pretty good stuff.
Well, good.
So,
So, did you work in high school? Did you get out of high school and get into work? How was that? How were you a good student in school?
I was a teacher's pet, but to be very smart, no. C's get degrees. But no, I was. I wasn't no honor roll student. But I didn't, probably didn't apply myself as much as I should have, but I did all right. It wasn't
Well,
bad.
well,
I mean,
good. So,
I graduated with honors.
so what'd you do when you got out of high school?
Got out of high school, went to work in factory life. And I hated every minute of it. Hated it. God,
Why?
I hated it. It just wasn't me. I've just always felt I was worth something more. You know, how you got that calling inside of you that you've got something more to give, something more to offer,
Yeah.
and just there's a better reach. And I had a lot of good jobs. I was a wastewater treatment operator. That was a good thing. That was right out of high school. Then after that, got into construction. Did my thing there, become a glazer, which you hang glass, professional caulker, um, all the details of that, high-rise buildings. Um, and that just breaks your body down. I'm like, there's got to be something more to life. So I had went out on my own, had a little GC business, a little general contracting business. First 2 years kind of rough. Had a couple things go south, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go get a job. I'm gonna try and invest in myself a little bit, put some money back, get my company back where I want it, and I'll go back to work. Well, little did I know that I had reached out to my brother-in-law who'd been in car sales and had major success. I said, give me a job. He said, I'm gonna kill you. I said, why? He said, you don't want this life. I said, man, look, give me a job. I'll work 6 months and I'll go back to doing glass work in my construction world and, hanging mirrors, and just give me 6 months. I just need to work, get away from it. Well, here we are about 12, 13 years later.
Still doing
Still
it
right.
strong.
Oh, still right in it. But it come easy for me. I mean, I was on Facebook posting anyway, and Facebook has become a lifeline for me. Funny story. When I started with the group that I was with, you know, I was bringing laughter and joy. And I'd made a post the other day on Facebook. I guess I'd been in the business about a month. Well, there was a car deal that I had going on, and customer just was not having it. I could not break her to smile. I mean, she was stone cold, buddy. I was like, all right, so I'm going to try something different. So I worked up the deal, went into the office. And I don't know why, but I guess it was my boss's kids or grandkids or something had a floaty, a pink floaty. I said, give me that. He said, what are you doing? I said, give me that. I'm going to go out here. I'm going to make this woman a car deal, make her smile. Well, I walked right out there, had a pink floaty on, walked in my office. She turned around and looked at me and she said, give me the pen. Just give me the pen. Just sign it. So there I was, you know, big old country bumpkin me, walking around with a pink floaty on, selling a lady a car. Loved it. Sold her vehicles for years now. I mean, you know, so just had to break the monotony of it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you said it came natural to you. Your first month in the car business, how did you do? I know you said that was about a month into it, that specific deal. So it came natural. Why did it come natural?
I guess because I like to talk. I just always wanted to help people, and I always seen that, you know, some car dealers would make it hard or talk down to you or make you feel beneath them, you know, and I can't stand that. So I wanted to change it up a little bit. You know, you still got to work for the company, but you got to work for your customer too.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, there's things that you got to learn, you know, and everybody says learn these word tracks. I hated that. But I guess one of the reasons that it comes so natural to me is that I could talk to the customer as I was one of them. You know what I mean?
Right on.
A lot of people knew me, and I knew them. You know, and I'm no better than they are. I may have a little more knowledge about a vehicle, but I'm no better than they are. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. I always
So
thought the same thing.
right, right. Then you know, and I've heard you. You know, look, we're all we're all the same. We just out there trying to help you, and
Absolutely.
that's that's been the main thing for me. You know, look, you give me a heartbeat and a chance, I'll help you. But I sold 8 cars my first month in the business. But I think it was more like, you know, 3 weeks or something. And I think I made like $3,600. And I was like, wait a minute. I ain't got to pay no insurance out of this for workman's comp. All I got to do is get on Facebook and run my mouth and try to help somebody. Let me give this a shot. Wait a minute. They got air conditioning in that office. I ain't got to get out there in that heat. Let me give this a thought. Wait a minute. It's winter time and I'm warm. I ain't out there hanging 100 feet in the air hanging glass. Let me think about this a minute. So, uh, you know, I've done construction work. Everything that the people have done to help you be successful in this business, I've done. I know how hard it is to go out there and try to make it. Don't make it harder on them. Help them. You know what I'm saying? Sell a car.
Absolutely.
So it just comes natural. I've been, I mean, I was in second grade one time. Me and my dad we went out of town one night or one weekend. Second grade, never will forget it. And it was a buddy's house that he knew. Well, the guy that we had met was some type of salesman. And he said, here you go, young man. You look like you like to talk. So he gave me a portfolio of ink pens. I never will forget it. He said, take them to school with you and go sell them.
Okay.
Well, there I was, second grade me, running around selling ink pens, and they called my dad, said, you might need to come and get this stuff. He's selling ink pens. Well, I done thought they'd broke my heart. I done got in trouble. And they said, no, no. But I mean, I was taking kids candy. I was trading them, I was selling pens.
Yeah.
And so they called dad, and he come over there and he said, well, son, just be careful. Don't take all their money. We're second grade. That could have been somebody's lunch money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, well, so I guess that's when I figured out that sales was my calling. Because I always liked it. I was like, hey, I got the gift of gab. But
That you
there
do.
it was.
So
But
what's the best month you've ever had in the car business? How many cars did you sell?
I have sold about 40, 41 during COVID.
Okay.
I've always achieved 20 plus on a consecutive basis. So I've always been a 25 car a month producer for the most part. Like I say, last year was a little bit different for me, but on average, 20, 25 cars a month.
Awesome. Awesome. And me and Will Fox worked together for probably a good 4 or 5 months. Very hard worker, very, very talented. So currently, you want to give a shout out to where you're working right now and maybe get some deals from it?
I'm back at Frankfurt Ford.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah. Back at Frankfurt. They reached out to me after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
I was at a Chevy store for a brief time. Like I say, last year was a little different for me in my career, but I mean, we all go through trials and tribulations. But me being a single dad, schedule just didn't work out for me and them. So, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Kid got to be there, and no hard feelings, no harm, no foul. But I'd sold some cars there too.
Absolutely. I know wherever you go, you'll sell a ton of cars.
Oh yeah. The secret to car business is find a place and stay there if you want to, really, and that. But guys like us, if something happens, we can go get a job anywhere.
Absolutely.
And I don't really like that, but like I say, uh, last year was different for me. Probably one of my most trying years that I've ever had in my career. But I grew, I learned a lot, and very grateful for where I'm at. So
Awesome. Well, congratulations. What advice would you give to a new salesperson coming right out, no experience? What advice would you give them so they hit the ground running?
run,
Run.
go get another job. No, man, I hired people, and when I was a floor manager at Richmond at the Ford store there, and I'd really talk to them. I mean, if you don't have a passion for it, if you can't talk to people, if you can't, it's not, I don't want to say confrontation, but if you can't stand up to people, if you can't do that, if you don't have a love for long hours, hard work, and and want to talk and negotiate and learn how this business is and get serious about the car business, don't do it. I mean, I hired some guys at the Ford store. They they were scared to death to take a pencil out. Scared to death. I'd be like, give me that. And some people are. Some people scared to talk to people. So I mean, it's very hard because you got two things against you. One, you're talking about a vehicle. Two, it's the second most second most big decision you're going to make. And 3, you're dealing with people's finances. So young man, young woman, if you can't or you don't feel comfortable about giving someone advice on why they should buy a vehicle or why they should not buy a vehicle, and then you talk to them about their finances, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you ain't gonna make it. Because I mean, you got to talk about those things, and people are trusting you with just everything. You know, I mean, you find out all the information though. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, you sold 50, 60 cars a month. You know, we sold a bunch of cars up here.
We did.
I mean, so unless you're actually willing to learn what this business is all about, man, find something else that you're good at. And there's other sales gigs besides selling cars. You know what I mean? I mean, salesmen will sell, but selling cars has been good to me. And but for somebody fresh out, those would be the first questions I'd ask. Be the first
Is
ones that I'd ask.
so sales is not for everybody, is what you're saying.
I don't think so. No. I mean, dude, I've seen some good people that just couldn't do it, couldn't handle it. It's a lot of pressure.
It is.
I mean, it's a lot of pressure. And if you don't get out there and brand yourself, and I've been guilty of this too, Brent, and I'm sure you can see that I haven't made a lot of posts. Sometimes, I mean, even with me, for as long as I've been doing it, Facebook has been a lifeline for me. And I've
Why?
sold, well, because I branded myself. I would take pictures of all the cars. Every time you got on Facebook, everything you seen was Will Fox forward, Will Fox forward, Will Fox forward. And, you know, people see that. They felt the, you know, the connection, the love that I had for it. And, you know, I kind of lost that a little bit. And I haven't done as many posts as I'm usually doing and used to doing. And I can tell that it's made a shift for me. But, you know, I'm getting older now too, so I've tried to tone it down a little bit. but you can't stop. And that's the thing that I've had to readjust to, is that in car business, in this car life, this car sales, and it's changed. It's it's changed a lot. So you got to be in front. I mean, every time that somebody picks up the phone, they think about a Ford truck or they want to use Chevrolet, I want them to know Will Fox is on the phone.
Absolutely. How
And
can people find you on social media?
oh Lord, I'm all over it. It's Will Fox. Um, well, see my picture. It's Will Fox. Hashtag Will Fox Salesman. That's something I created years ago. Um, I'm on Instagram, the official Will Fox, and then TikTok, just Will Fox 589, something like that.
All right,
And
perfect.
TikTok was a lot. It was a lot of fun. Um, Me and a buddy of mine, he was a mechanic in Richmond. He and I made a bunch of funny videos, went viral, I think.
They did.
Got
I remember. They were very
yeah,
funny.
yeah. So I've done that, and that's another thing I got away from, is I haven't done the TikTok videos like I want to do, and I've changed up the content. I mean, you know, you just got to be ever changing, ever evolving. You know, you got to be not afraid to do those things.
Absolutely.
You
And
know,
you
it's
mentioned that the car business has changed. How has it changed?
oh, it's just so different. I mean, it just seems like online is just where it's at. You know what I'm saying? It ain't the days of they used to come in and talk to you and, you know, I want this car and, you know, just get me this. Well, now it's all online, and, you know, it's kind of like, from what I've seen, is that the salesman part is more of, you know, don't want to say how may I help you, but it's more of how may I help you, what vehicle you're here to get. You know what I mean? There's no, I grew up and you grew up selling something. Hey, the days of people just coming in and trading seems like that's over with. You know what I'm saying? It's all
Right.
online. They know their specific vehicle they want, and that's fine. But it just seems like it takes the personality of it for me out. And I don't like that. I like to sell people. People sell people. I like somebody in front of me, sit down, tell me what's on your mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the internet's a great place to be. I've done that. You've done that. But I would much rather talk to somebody than text. Much rather hear their voices to text them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you
Then
got
you
that
can
good
really,
voice yourself.
yeah, and you can really feel what they're saying. You can really hear what they're telling you. Over a text message, I mean, it could be, anything, and that's fine. And we all do it. But I mean, my God, man, come in and talk to me. Let me talk to you. let me meet you, greet you, build rapport, help you solve your problems. But it's changed. It's just going to an online world. I mean, and before you know it, they'll probably be able to buy a car off Amazon.
Well, they can. It's coming later this year.
Are you serious?
Yep. Amazon partnered up with Hyundai and they're going to be selling cars from Amazon.
Okay, so how's that going to happen? I mean,
Well, it's
how
going,
is that?
yeah. So good question. So from my understanding, me reading and kind of diving into it a little bit, not a lot, is certain cars are going to be posted on Amazon and the dealerships are specifically going to post those cars. Those cars are going to be sold at MSRP. It's not going to be negotiating. You're just going to have that. But the thing that most people don't understand is if you're trading in a car, not everybody puts on their right information that their car is messed up. There's a check engine light, that there's cracks in the leather, there just all kinds of stuff that they're going to miss, and I think it's going to hurt it. Also, on top of that, people that have average credit that they need help with from the manager standpoint, actually getting the credit application approved, getting the loan approved. I don't see Amazon or whoever doing that. So I still have a lot of questions myself, but it's supposed to roll out later this year. And I think it'll be very much like Carvana. I don't think it's going to have a huge success. That's just me personally thinking.
Well, see, that right there is what I'm telling you that I think is how the car business is changing.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much more to car sales than what people give it credit for and what they try to give us good salesman credit for. You know, just like you said, the credit applications, you got the first time buyers, you got people that's, you got first time buyers, rebuild and continuation. Well, what's that mean, Will? Well, you got the first time buyer, 18-year-old kid just graduated high school, been at his job for a year, got $5,000 down, you know, wants a truck. Well, and I know that if the income doesn't match the truck payment, and that there ain't no trucks under 30,000 that has 70,000 miles on them. If you buy a $20,000 truck, you got something with 130,000 miles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So bank ain't always going to approve that. Well, if you've got the management team and the finance team and the guys like you and I's got the knowledge to know what you can buy, then you got a shot. But then you've got this young kid or whatever wanting to go out there and buy them a new vehicle. Oh, well, I can get one off Amazon. Yeah, come on. Well, they go over there. Where's your paperwork? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Where's your
I know what
paperwork?
you're saying.
Your
Absolutely.
credit rating? There's no building of there's no building of, hey, where's Brent? Hey, where's Will?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I hate that. Because anybody can talk to a dang computer. And for me, it just drives me nuts, which is fine. I mean, it's the way the world is changing, and we all got to change and grow. And I have, but man, come in and talk to me. Let me sell you a vehicle. Let me help you. Then you brought out another good point, something else that they don't, that I'm not saying they don't, but people don't realize is that trade-ins. People don't understand that when we go do a trade-in, we have to value that vehicle. We have to take, tires good, brakes good, calipers good, oil change has been done. You got to take in all factors of the whole thing. And if you do a trade with a customer, by the time you get it back around, well, you got a whole lot more money into it, because if it needs something, you got to fix it. You got to make sure it's road ready,
Absolutely.
And
if you don't do it correctly, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot, and then you're going to be tanked upside down in water, meaning you own it for way more than it's worth, and you're not going to be able to get out of it. And then it causes headaches. So you got to send it to auction, take your losses, or several different scenarios, but you're putting yourself in a bad position.
Yeah. And that's another, that's just the thing. And people need educated on all that. And that's what I've tried to do, is be open and honest with anybody I've dealt with. And that's been probably the better of my successes, is they know that I'm going to tell them the truth of it. They know that I'm going to get them a car deal.
Right on.
And you've got to, I don't see the personality going out of it, but I don't like the thoughts of the personality going out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let me ask you this before we part. So what has made you extremely successful in the car business?
Well, it takes more than Will Fox to sell a car. You got the people that buys them. You got the finance guys, which I've been around long enough to where I've had to learn that. But my biggest contribute to my success is the people that I have kept around me. If you're around the right people and you stay with those people, you're going to do well. And okay. I was at the same store for many, many years. And at the end of the day, yes, can I go anywhere? Could I go to Pennsylvania and sell my way home? Sure. But my success contributes to having a wealth of knowledge from a whole lot of people.
Right on.
Such as yourself and, my mentors and the people that brought me up in it. So that's my biggest thing. And, I like to be big and loud and get on Facebook and run my mouth. I haven't done it in a while, but like I say, I had a different year last year, but it's a new year, new day, new things. And we can go from there.
All right, buddy. Well, it was a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're extremely, extremely busy, as you always been. So thank you so much. And we'll get you on here again.
Brent, it's good seeing you.
Good to see you. And let me know if you ever need anything.
You know I will.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
See you.
Bye.
Hey, one question.
Shoot.
Did you have your morning orange juice?
Every single morning.